Coming up, a new redistricting plan faces criticism for potentially diminishing Indigenous voices. Plus, a woman is roller skating across the Navajo Nation, calling attention to missing Indigenous women. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Aleja Vallejo.
And I'm Sheridan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.
This past week, the Arizona Independent Redistricting Committee, or IRC, released a first draft of the updated maps for Arizona's future legislative and congressional districts.
The commission must redraw the maps every 10 years to reflect population changes. NAZ Today's Rachel Blair tells us what this means for voters.
Thanks, Sheridan. A 30-day public comment period is now underway so the Commission can gather more input before deciding whether to finalize maps that will determine legislative districts for the next decade. Kyle Nitschke, the Northern Regional Organizing Director for the Arizona Students Association, is working to get people involved in the process to ensure the maps better represent Northern Arizona voters.
The current draft maps could definitely be more competitive and more fair. Right now they're kind of split where we have a Republican district and we have a Democratic district. And there's only like one or two, I think, competitive congressional districts.
Nitschke says the draft maps would disproportionately affect minorities in Northern Arizona districts and diminish the voices of Indigenous communities.
Also want to prioritize communities of interest as well. And the Navajo Nation and tribal communities need to have kind of their own representative in the congressional district and in the legislative district. And that's not something that we don't think has been really super well incorporated.
There will be both virtual and in-person opportunities for public comment before the maps are finalized. Arizonans should expect to see the new and final district maps starting December 22nd. Rachel Blair, NAZ Today.
The Navajo Nation is seeing a spike in COVID cases. The Navajo Department of Health reported 77 cases and 1 death on Saturday. And due to the amount of cases, they've issued an advisory notice for 48 communities due to the uncontrolled spread. The Navajo president said the spread is due to an increase in-person and social gatherings on the Navajo Nation, as well as residents who travel to cities outside the reservation. He's urging those who travel off the reservation to take precautions and wear a mask. You might call her a one-woman crusade to find missing Indigenous women.
That's right. NAZ Today's Josh Osby joins us with the story of a unique fight for justice.
Trail skater and Native American activist Melissa Skeet stopped by NAU today to answer questions about her journey to raise awareness for missing Indigenous women and children. She is currently roller skating 300 miles across rough Arizona terrain.
Families have lost their loved ones, and there's a lot of cold cases going on right now in the Navajo Nation, not just the Navajo Nation itself, but all across the country on the Indigenous lands.
Skeet says the loss of women and children is having a devastating effect on Indigenous families.
It's really hard to see the families trying to scream and shout about just not being heard with what's going on, with like where is their child? Why aren't they coming home?
As she rides for awareness, Skeet has had her own struggles to deal with.
I have asthma, so it's kind of just taken a toll on my lungs these few days. So I'm like, you know what, it's worth it. Yes, it's a lot of stress in my body, but I'm gonna do this because I know it's the right thing.
The red hand over her mouth is a symbol. It's a way to say we cannot be silenced.
It's no more. And that's where we come along and say, hey, our voices are not gonna stop. We're gonna keep shouting, we're gonna keep yelling and saying, we are here.
The stop today at NAU marked 100 miles along her journey. She still has 200 more to go until she accomplishes her goal. Josh Osby, NAZ Today.
NAU will now reimburse students for the graduate entrance exam cost, and the first student has already received funding. NAZ Today's Quanah Arnold reports.
Every year, 3rd and 4th year college students begin preparing for graduate school. And for those who have already done it, it can be pricey. ASNAU, that's NAU Student Government, has announced they will be reimbursing graduate school entrance exams like the GRE and LSAT, to name a few. ASNAU President Maylee Acosta says it's a great opportunity.
That it would be a great use of our funds and a great resource for students to allow them to also apply for that as part of their already approved $1,000.
Ricardo Calderon is an NAU student whose plans are to go into family law specifically for low-income individuals. And it's a topic that hits close to home.
I've seen time after time working families that look like me in my community, that they can't afford a child custody attorney.
Calderon has already received interest letters from universities in states like Oklahoma, Kansas, and Florida, all saying he'd be welcome to attend should he score well enough on the exam. He says it's an opportunity he didn't think was possible.
I grew up in South Tucson, so the chances of even going to college is a pipe dream. But to have an opportunity to go into law school and be a practicing attorney, that's very uncommon within a lot of individuals within my communities.
And when it comes to applying to graduate school, a little money can go a long way.
This is the difference between applying to 2 schools versus applying to 6.
Quanah Arnold, NAZ Today.
A prominent QAnon figure says he will run for Congress in Arizona. In a statement Monday, Ron Watkins says Arizona is a significant place for research done of what he calls the 2020 election fraud conspiracy, something that has been repeatedly debunked by numerous sources. Watkins says that by running for Congress, he will take the next steps into solving alleged election integrity issues.
As we enter into the season of giving thanks while making your turkey and stuffing, don't forget about all the animals who would be thankful to find a new home.
The holiday season can often be a lonely time for animals looking for homes, but the Coconino Humane Association has many pets available for adoption. NAZ Today's Matt Keenitz has more on this week's Pet of the Week.
Thanks, Aleja. This week we met Oreo, a rambunctious yet snuggly kitten who loves to be pet, and unlike the saying, curiosity won't kill this cat. Meet Oreo, an inquisitive kitten who loves to show off her meow.
She's a 8-month-old black short-haired cat. She is already fixed, so she can go home the same day. She is very vocal.
Oreo loves being the center of attention and wants an owner who can make time for her.
But she is totally going to be a lap cat, a cat that wants to be in your lap and wants your attention.
Oreo is looking for that special someone with whom she can share an amazing connection.
Probably that cat that'll find their one person and then that's their person.
As much as she loves to play, Oreo is also the perfect kitten to have if you want an animal companion to cuddle and watch movies with.
Probably someone that just wants a buddy to sit on the couch with them and be a couch potato.
While Oreo is certainly adorable, she also comes with a clean bill of health.
Her adoption fee is $135, so it covers the surgery she just had, a microchip, vaccines, 30-day free pet insurance, and a rabies shot.
This fussy friend has a huge heart and would love to find a new home. Oreo is available to be adopted now at the Coconino Humane Association. She would be a great addition to any home. And I suspect Oreo would also be very thankful about finding a new family. Matt Keenitz, NAZ Today.
$197 million is on its way to help Arizona homeowners. It's part of the Federal American Rescue Plan called the Homeowner Assistance Fund. The funds are available to help people with mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and even internet. The plan is in response to continued financial hardships caused by COVID.
This program is meant to help those who are behind in their payments directly due to COVID-19. The income loss due to COVID has to have occurred after January 21st of 2020.
The Arizona Department of Housing Director Tom Simplot says grants are income-based, but all homeowners can apply.
It is open to all Arizonans who qualify for 150% of area median income.
The application opened yesterday and funds will be distributed within 3 to 5 weeks. To check if you're eligible and to apply, visit the website on the bottom of your screen. Meanwhile, another grant from the Arizona Department of Housing for $15 million is paying for 3 new homeless shelters around the state. The goal is to support homeless individuals while they get back on their feet.
Bridge housing provides them an opportunity to pause to see what they do need in order to recover from living on the street. And sometimes it's just simply triage to be able to get them through this crisis that they may be in.
The new facilities are going up in Phoenix, Kingman, and Flagstaff. The Kingman Veterans Shelter received $2 million to construct a temporary veterans-only shelter opening fall 2023. JoJo's Place in Flagstaff began construction last month on an old motel on Route 66. Finally, Project Haven in Phoenix will serve the 55 and older community and plans to open at the end of 2022. The new shelters are all temporary housing solutions for people experiencing homelessness. Support services will also be provided by the facilities.
Coming up, Tuesday's election results leave Democrats wondering what went wrong.
Warmer temperatures are extending into the weekend. I'll tell you what you can expect for northern Arizona after the break. Stay tuned.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at savethefood.com.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Stronger than expected performances by the Republican Party Tuesday, signaling a reckoning amongst Democrats as they look at what went wrong for them on Election Day. Despite pulling out some mayoral wins in some of the nation's biggest cities, Democrats are facing a wake-up call regarding voter concerns about the economy and COVID. Chris Newen breaks it all down.
Across the country, Democrats are analyzing their results in key races that many view as a preview of the 2022 midterm.
On day one, we're going to work. We're going to restore excellence in our schools.
In the Virginia governor's race, Republican business executive Glenn Youngkin with a decisive victory over former Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe. The blame game already beginning, with Virginia Senator Tim Kaine placing it on congressional Democrats.
You got to be able to make a deal and deliver results. They want more results, and we got to deliver because we are the majority and they expect us to deliver.
In New Jersey, in a race still too close to call, Phil Murphy seeking to become the first Democratic incumbent governor to win re-election in that state in more than 40 years. There were some bright spots for the Democrats, with Michelle Wu becoming the first woman and person of color to be elected as mayor of Boston.
Between tackling big problems with bold solutions and filling our potholes. To make change at scale and at street level. We deserve both.
And with many concerned about the economy and the pandemic, Newly elected officials are now trying to navigate a path forward.
You have to get stuff done. And the reality is to continue to debate after the election is just a failing solution for the people on the ground.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to NAZ Today. I'm your Wednesday night student forecaster, Lacey Fraun. We are hitting the back end of a warming trend, so for the next few days, our highs will be around the mid-60s to upper 60s, which is pretty rare for our November temperatures. And along with the warm and dry temperatures, we're experiencing some prescribed burns. Oh my! So that's going to be impacting Flagstaff and Belmont. The worst part of that is going to be the haze because we're having pretty calm winds. I'm going to show you what that looks like specifically. So coming from the west coast, we're seeing some cloud coverage move from northern Arizona to southern Arizona. But right now we have some mostly clear skies around this area in northern Arizona is where we'll be seeing that haze in the next few days. But again, right now, pretty clear skies. Flagstaff currently at 51 degrees. Those winds calm and gentle at 9 miles per hour, and then our humidity at 29%. So today was pretty warm. Our high at 61 degrees, and our low is going to be down around 31 degrees. If you see at our averages, we're about 5 degrees above average, which explains the warming trend, and we're nowhere near those records. Let's go ahead and take a look at our precipitation. For the year since January 1st, we are inching towards 21 inches. I'm excited to see where we will end up by the end of the year. Let's take a look at our warm and dry state for today. Our highs were relatively warmer than normal. Prescott at 73 degrees, Winslow and Hopi at 68 degrees, Page at 66 degrees, and Grand Canyon at 59 degrees. Tonight we're going to cool down, like I said earlier, to 31 degrees with a 1.5% waxing gibbous moon. Mostly clear skies. Our sun did already set around 5:30 p.m., which calls for perfect conditions for some stargazing. Here are a couple planets that will be visible tonight among the stars. So Venus will be visible until 8 p.m., Jupiter until midnight, and then right after the show we'll be able to see Saturn right at 6:30. Bringing it into tomorrow, our high is going to be about 5 degrees warmer at 66 degrees. Beautiful sunny skies and a sunrise at 6:51 a.m. As Tori Smith likes to point out, I'm normally up around 4 a.m. I'm a busy bee, and so I'll be wide awake for that beautiful sunrise. Taking a look at our forecast temperatures across the state for tomorrow, overall is warmer than today. Phoenix about 2 degrees warmer, 89 degrees for the high, 59 for the low. Prescott high of 72, low 41. Tuba City high of 68, low of 38. And Page high of 68, low of 45. bring it back to Flagstaff, I'm going to explain that warming trend to you. So take a look for Thursday and Friday. We'll hit our peak for the warming trend at 67 degrees. And then beginning into the weekend, we will have some mostly clear skies, a little bit of cloud coverage. And by Monday, that warming trend will come to an end. Forecast high of 60, low of 32. That's all I have for weather. Be sure to stick around for sports after the break.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Meals on Wheels gives me a chance to be totally selfless. More than the food itself, a lot of seniors don't have family. So just to have someone to talk to, just to say, hey, how was your day? That means so much more than a meal could ever mean. We have to look outside of ourselves to be that lifeline to other people. It's worth it.
Welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Lindsay Ridgway, and I'll be your sports reporter for the night. As we know, COVID has changed the way any organization goes about their protocols. This has greatly affected the way NAU Athletics does their typical jobs as well. The athletic personnel were forced to find creative ways to give the teams a normal experience. Sports reporter Frank Espinoza spoke with Sports Information Directors Stacey Asobi and Cody Basher to see how they're adapting to this change.
After a year of the pandemic-related shutdowns and delays, NAU Athletics is getting back to the in-person way of doing business. Associate Athletic Director Stacey Asobi was promoted to this position at the start of 2020. Since the pandemic, he has been working tirelessly to get the athletic events back into gear.
Coordinating interviews, I think, was probably the biggest area where we had to adapt because media wasn't allowed to come out to practice. We had no fans at games, so media also wasn't permitted to come into games, at least to start. So all of our press conferences were done through Zoom. All of our media availability with our athletes and our student coaches was done through Zoom.
Last semester, Asobe had to think of creative ideas to recreate the feeling of having an audience. But nothing could replace the hundreds of fans and the empty seats.
You know, what we did was just like everybody else did. We put out cardboard cutouts and we piped in fan noise into the PA system, and that there's just no replicating what 10,000 people in the Sky Dome can bring.
Assistant Athletic Director Cody Basher is also working hard to bring NAU sports back to the students. Basher had to adapt and create new ways to keep fans updated and aware with fresh content.
I think more importantly, we didn't have practices on campus, so a lot of content sometimes comes out of practices, photos, video, everything like that. And so trying to find creative ways to keep people engaged was, I think, the biggest challenge.
Now that vaccines have made it safer for people to go back to normal, Basher says he's excited to let fans back into the arenas.
I think it's been really refreshing to let people kind of get back to normal as much as we possibly can right now, and get back to a point of just feeling like it's all more like it used to be, I guess.
Although NAU athletics is slowly going back to normalcy, Asobi and Basher did a great job trying to make NAU sports feel as though nothing's changed. And moving forward, NAU basketball is about to head into the start of their season. As the men's team lost their two best shooters, Cameron Shelton and Luke Avdalovich, who transferred to different universities, the Lumberjacks will need to find their footing with new star players. However, NCAA has granted players an extra year of eligibility, allowing the Lumberjacks to gain some consistency. Nick Maines will head into his 5th year of play and take on that leadership role the NAU men's desperately needs. NAU opens the season next Tuesday in Tucson against the University of Arizona. Well, that's all we have for sports this evening, but stay tuned after the break for your weather recaps with Lacey Fraun.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Welcome back. Let's take one last look at weather heading into the end of your week and the start of your weekend. So for the next few days, we are finishing up a warming trend, and then we're dipping down into the lower 60s by the start of next week. So we should probably take advantage of the warmer weather in this late fall, early winter here in northern Arizona. Those of you on desk, what's going on this weekend?
Well, whether you're into gallery shows, new murals, or just food and music, Flagstaff's First Friday Art Walk has you covered.
That's right. This Friday, the Murdoch Center is hosting Flagstaff's First Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's free, and so is the parking at 203 East Brandon Avenue. There will be performances, live music, and more. So head downtown this weekend to check out all the art and festivities and support local artists and local businesses. Well, Aleja, I've actually never been to First Friday, but I'd love to go this week, and I just love how we live in a city that celebrates art, so it's great.
I agree. It's like murals are a staple in Flagstaff. Well, that's all we have for NAZ today. Thank you for tuning in and have a great night.